This is your captain speaking. We have begun our descent into the airport in La Paz, Bolivia. Please prepare for landing. It was time for me to decide. I saw the call for volunteers on my company's intranet site and immediately responded to express my interest. How could I pass up an opportunity to help communities in the country I once called home? Several weeks passed when I heard the chime signaling that I had received an email. I was on the commuter bus, listening to the clicking of laptop computer keys as people continued their workday, while others seemed to be holding one-sided conversations because of their hidden earbuds. After reading the email, the sudden feeling of excitement prompted a stifled shriek of joy. It startled the passengers who had started to nod off after their long day of work. I was selected as a World Water Corps volunteer, and I would be going back to Bolivia after being away for so many years. The plane touched down, and I lifted the window shade to look outside. The tops of the snow-covered Andes were still there, and they were just as majestic as I remembered. They were nearly eye level, and wisps of clouds floated by. Would my lungs remember how to breathe this thin air? Or would I be like the numerous foreign-born passengers who would have difficulties and would need oxygen to help them breathe? Altitude sickness can be felt at just 8,000 feet above sea level, but we were much higher. The airport, located in El Altiplano, sits at over 13,000 feet above sea level. La Paz, the city where I was born, was in the valley below, surrounded by the towering sand-colored Andes. It had been 20 years since I left Bolivia. As I waited to disembark, memories flooded my mind. Memories of my home by the river, with dusty banks where children played while their mothers washed clothes. The women wore long, flowing polleras that were caked in mud where their skirts met the ground, and the children donned yuchus on their heads. Memories of the open markets made me smile. The outdoor markets are where I would go with my mom to buy beef tongue, my favorite. Chuño and tunta, those rock-hard dehydrated potatoes that come to life after being soaked overnight and make every meal delicious. And of course, the dried chili paste used in every stew that excites my palate and makes my nose run. Despite my long absence, these are the images that conjured home. I retrieved my suitcase from the overhead compartment, checked to make sure I had my passport and cell phone, and made my way down the aisle towards the door. The door was now open, and I could smell the dry air that carried that scent. The scent of dry earth mixed with decaying litter, and, unfortunately, human urine and excrement. I did not miss that. Northern Virginia is home now, not even 2,500 feet above sea level. The trees are lush, and moisture makes the air feel thick. The only undesirable odor outside is the exhaust that is expelled from passing cars. How would my body react to being in such a different and hostile environment? I arrived at the customs counter, presented my documents, and greeted the immigration agent with a warm smile. Having seen my passport, he motioned to where small oxygen tanks were available to help with altitude sickness. I thanked him very much and said, "I'm fine, gracias."